What's up, guys? This is the 3 a.m. podcast. My name is Charlie.
My name's DeeJay.
And my name is Sean.
We're just some friends like to get together and tell scary stories.
Yeah, welcome to everyone. All right, I got a question, if it's okay.
It's okay.
So as somebody who is emotionally driven, I think Sean is logically driven, and then I think Charles is halfway. Would you say?
I'm the extreme of both at the same time.
Yeah.
Constantly.
So we have the spectrum.
The gambit, bro.
We're all in the spectrum
gambit.
a little bit.
What gets you emo?
What gets me emo?
Yeah, what gets you a little emo?
Dude, watching movies on planes makes me ball, dog. Last time I watched, the first and last time I watched Coco, I straight tears come streaming down. I was bawling,
In the
bro.
arms of an angel.
That's funny, dude. Coco's an emotional movie, though.
Yeah, it is.
It made a lot of people cry. I
A
teared
lot of
up.
people.
Sean's not a lot of people, though. So.
The last
Sean,
time I cried was when I was 16.
Was it really?
Yeah.
No, I'm like not even joking, and neither are you.
No, I'm not joking.
What?
And I know why, and it's the saddest thing in the world, and we're not going to go into it.
We're not going to talk about it.
You've told me before, or you've told the group, but I've forgotten.
I'll tell you later.
That bad.
And you guys will never know.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
When's the last time you cried?
That's a good question. I don't know.
You don't know? Or you know and you just don't want to share?
Well, one of them's like my grandparents died.
Dude, that's a very real thing.
So both my grandparents died last year. Jordan, who by the way is here today.
What's up, Jordan?
Oh, what's up?
And I was in St. George and we...
You don't have to go into detail. You just say when my grandparents passed
Okay, yeah,
away.
sick. Never mind. I just want to get this off my chest. Never mind.
You want to
No,
get
still,
after
no,
it?
they died, bro.
Okay, come on. You didn't want to share it? Now you want to share all of it?
No, I forgot.
Okay. Bad question. Sorry.
No,
Let's do another question.
no, it's funny. When's the last time you cried?
Dude, yesterday
What happened?
I was driving
Driving in Utah kind of will do that to you.
driving past the Shields on I-15. And I don't know why, but I started thinking about my grandpa who passed away as well.
Damn, we're a bunch of sad boys.
But he was like 15 years ago. So and I don't know. I haven't thought about him for a long time. His death hasn't affected me probably since then. But I played a song that I totally forgot about. I'm not sure what triggered it, but he used to sing it to me all the time. And it was Puff the Magic Dragon.
Aww.
So I started playing it and I just started bawling, dude, and I was mad at how sad I was. But that was me yesterday.
Dude, what's like the most nostalgic or emotional connection song you can think of? Because sometimes songs will come on and immediately you're transported to
Just feels.
a memory, a time, a place, an event.
One of the first ones that come to mind is I dated this girl in high school for a year and a half. And when she broke up with me, I just listened to this one song.
I'm sorry, I can't be perfect.
No, dude, better than that one. It was
And I feel so mad.
What Hurts the Most
By Rascal
by
Flatts.
Rascal Flatts. I could take the rain. And I hate country, dude. It's like the only country song that I know every single word in the song.
Like
dude.
double punishing yourself.
Yeah, dude.
Legitimately, I heard that song yesterday for some strange reason.
Double penetration.
Yeah, all that. What hurts the most?
Bro, I got hella emo when all my friends went to college and my dumbass didn't go to college. I had to stay in our hometown because I messed around too much in high school.
Just listening to Sum 41.
So I started working out and running for like 4 hours a day. And I'd run to the same song every time and just like, just shed a little tear. It's called Serenade by Emiliana Torini. Look it up. Okay, we'll cut that.
back to music. No, I like it. What about you, Shawnee?
Okay, is this just me or is this everyone in the world? But every one of us at one point of our life throws on in the middle of the night when you're driving home alone, something may have happened, and you just throw on Lonely by Akon, you know? And you jam out a little bit, you know?
A little bit of
and you're like,
convict music.
Man, I do feel lonely. Is that just me?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but what about you, Sean?
I can't think of any.
Sean's like,
sorry.
emotions? No.
Yeah.
Sorry, dog.
Stonewall Jackson right here. I was hoping to get something. It's okay.
No, I'm very emotional. I just don't show it to anyone ever.
I mean, every time you hear Cotton Eye Joe and Cha Cha Slide, you perk right up, my boy.
Oh yeah, dude. Where did you come from? Where'd you go? Tears, bro.
God bless the USA.
Cool.
Well, would you rather have a popcorn kernel stuck in your teeth or Cheeto fingers for the rest of your life?
Popcorn kernel.
Wrong answer, dude.
No, dude.
Explain
that's
your
Cheeto
wrong
fingers?
Explain your
you
wrong
want
answer.
to touch everything with Cheeto fingers
Bro,
the rest of your life?
Have you ever heard of gloves?
I think that I would rather have.
Have you ever heard of dentures? Just pull it out of your teeth.
Then that defeats the purpose. You can't
So do
feel
gloves.
it. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, dude.
Okay, so you're just gonna look like a freak or the biggest
Just
double Michael
Mickey
Jackson
Mousing
fan.
the whole
Yo,
time?
at least it tastes good, bro.
You look like a Disney
It's
character. You're just cosplaying constantly. I would rather do neither. There you go.
Cheeto fingers.
And it's spicy Cheetos too. Hot Cheetos.
That's fine. Better. I'm into that.
Okay, wait. If that kind of has a benefit, because like, what if you're hungry? You can just always just lick your fingers, and it
Yeah,
will like
you-
That's what I'm
replenish.
Like
saying.
10
There's
calories
no.
on your fingers.
You
there's-
switched me.
There's
Fine.
no pro to having a kernel in your mouth. It's just a con.
That's true.
There's pros and cons to Cheeto fingers.
When's the last time you bit your cheek and then bit it like multiple times? Is that the worst thing that can happen to you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I do that regularly because I just eat so fast and just lose control. It's just like
Last year, I think.
About the fourth time is when I start contemplating like throwing myself off a building.
death. Yeah.
For real, dude. It gets dramatic at 4 times.
Like mad at yourself.
Damn it, I did it again.
Stop biting me.
Here's something weird about me. Every time I eat too fast or chicken and rice, I am guaranteed to choke to the point where I almost throw up. Every time. I don't know why. It gets so bad I have to like run out of the restaurant sometimes and barf in a trash can somewhere.
You
Yeah.
sick. I don't know. I can never remember these things on the spot. What are weird things about me, guys?
Did we ever talk about when we got the scan, the body scan?
Oh no. Last year, us 3 and our homie Kevin, we went and got a DEXA body scan. And it feels like a, what is it?
Like a CAT scan?
Yeah,
MRI?
CAT scan, MRI.
You lay down on this machine and it like passes slowly over your body making noise.
And then they give you a printout with all these stats, like Pokemon. It's like
Your
special
HP,
attack.
yeah.
Special defense.
Your
All I have
weaknesses.
was Harden.
Yeah.
DJ had Splash.
I had sand attack. Yeah, it's actually really cool. Tells you so many different things about your body, things that I was reading about myself that I had never knew. One of the things was bone density, and it was something like on the scale of 0 to 4 or 0 to 5. And if you've listened enough, you know that I have injured myself, injured my leg or my feet, broke my ankles over 10 times in my lifetime. So we all get our DEXA body scan, and the average bone density is like high 2s.
I think it was like 1.8, dog.
Okay, so even lower.
Yeah. Like I was a 1.4 or something.
Yeah, and then Kevin goes and he's like a
1.8.
2.5 and Sean around the same. And then I go in and I come out and mine is like 3.5, like just under the highest you can get.
Honestly, I think it was more dramatic than that. I think you were a solid like 4 or 5 points above me. And the lady who gave the scan was like, oh, like this is the highest I've ever seen in bone density.
And they're all like, nah, this doesn't work, dude. Like, this is false.
That does not make
These
sense.
numbers don't line up. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's a weird fact. I have strong bones, but in
not
theory,
strong
in theory,
bones.
in practice, no. Unfortunately.
All right, F it.
What are some things that you're into right now? I just saw the movie 1917 for the second time in theaters. We've all seen that. You guys loved it.
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite war movie I've ever seen.
I would agree.
If you haven't
Up
seen
there
it,
with Dunkirk.
yeah, Dunkirk, Saving Private Ryan is a classic for me. I feel like for most people.
Yeah.
I love Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor is great. Yeah. Yeah, I bet you do, dude. I bet you do.
The highlight reel. Continue.
I've been into that movie.
Nice. I just finished On My Block, which is actually the last time I cried. Was watching that show. It's about kids who grew up in South Central LA. And even though I didn't grow up in LA, I grew up in the Valley in California. Their story is just so relatable to me, like growing up with straight vatos and like gangs and stuff like that. So I don't know. I got really invested. If
You
want
asshole. Why didn't you answer the question correctly earlier?
I don't know, because I thought that was lame.
Oh, who cares, dude?
Because I was embarrassed to show emotion as a man in America.
Dude, I cried to a cartoon TV show from the 60s about a dragon.
No, it's your grandpa dying, bro.
Bro, I'm not even trying to be hard. I'm just like scarred. That's it.
I think the term is emotionally unavailable.
Well, typically, yeah, that is correct. for
Facebook
me.
would say it's complicated.
It's complicated.
What are you into lately?
I like looking at maps a lot. I could look at a map for a straight 3 hours and just learn everything about it. It's weird. Sorry.
Any specific
weird
place
about
you've
me.
been looking at?
Well, last week I looked at a lot of San Jose just so I could find my way around.
Oh, yeah. Sean just got back from San Jose, San Francisco.
Yep.
With his girlfriend.
Woo! Look at us.
Yeah, dude, moving up in the world.
Jordan said we might
Sorry,
lose some
ladies
followers.
and
Jordan's
men out
gonna
there.
stop following us.
It's developing, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Dope. Should we move on? Roll. 6. 3.
19.
Oh, 19. Dude, and I have glasses.
1.
So Charles, me, then Sean.
Nice. All right, so me. Okay. I'm
Did
excited.
you win with a 4? Sorry.
No, I won with a 19, bro.
Oh,
He
19.
tried saying it was a 3, but it was a 19.
I could not see. I'm sorry.
Just kidding.
Okay, go for it. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No
off.
worries. All right, so tonight my story comes to us from a listener and fellow podcaster.
Dope.
His name is Tom, and he's from the podcast Excellent Movie Adventures. So it's kind of cool. Him and a buddy of theirs get together and they discuss movies, either past ones or movies that are coming out. I listened to their Knives Out one. They know so much about movies, it makes Sean almost look inferior.
Like a muggle.
Yeah. And they're just grand masters. Grand dragons, dude. That's the right term, right?
Grand Wizard.
He lives out in the West Desert, like Tooele area, I believe. He's actually the guy who invited us to go.
To Dugway.
Yeah, he has a friend who gives like national ghost tours, who is supposed to be a medium,
Gang.
and she's invited us to go with her because she said every time she's been out there, she's had an occurrence.
Okay.
She doesn't do it often, and so she invited us. But that's his friend. That's Tom's friend who invited us. Anyway, Tom sent this in. He said he's always been pretty sensitive to the paranormal. So when he found our podcast, he was interested and he wrote in. So this first one actually didn't happen to him. It happened to his boss. And Tom worked in a construction company in town, just doing all sorts of odd jobs here and there. And one job came up, and it was on the historic 25th Street in Ogden. And do you guys know like the history of Ogden at all?
No. 0.
Apparently, I didn't do much research other than a couple videos, but it's super haunted. Like so much stuff. They have a whole underground system when alcohol was outlawed of like prostitution and alcohol sales.
Speakeasies.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of super haunted places there. Anyway, so this guy is doing a small renovation job near there. And it's basically just knock down some drywall that got damaged by water and put up some new drywall. So he gets this house and he starts doing it. And it's a one-man job, should go real fast. His plan is to do it earlier in the morning so that he can get all the drywall to the dump before it closes at night. So he starts working, and this house belongs to this ancient old lady. And it's just her in the house and him. And she comes in and she's just like looking around, and he says like, do you need anything? And she's no. She said, just watch out for Emily. She likes to play with other people's things. And so Tom's boss...
Like, just I don't know. I feel like I would just laugh at that. Like, okay, grandma. I don't know. Are you supposed to like take that seriously? You're supposed to be senile like her, or
Well, Tom's boss was like, "Oh, I thought there was no one else here."
Oh, like thinking it was an actual person.
Yeah,
okay.
Oh,
like
okay.
Emily, her granddaughter or something.
That makes more sense, actually.
And the old lady responds, "No, Emily is the ghost girl who haunts this building." So Tom's boss was like, "Oh, okay," and he stated very explicitly before this day he did not believe in ghosts at all. So he's like, "Okay, like you get on out of here, ma'am." And so he leaves. He knocks it down, throws up the new drywall, and he's taken all this old drywall and put it in the back of his car or his truck, right? So he starts driving home, and he gets halfway home and he decides, you know what? I'm actually super tired. I'm just going to go to the dump in the morning. So turns right, goes to his house, parks his car, gets out, and he's walking up to the house when he hears his engine go tick, 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 like the key turning. And so he stops dead in his tracks, looks down at his right hand, and he's holding his keys. So he knows he didn't leave the car on. He stops, he turns around and looks at the truck, and it's quiet. Turns around, starts walking back to the house. Second he turns around.
What in tarnation, dude?
So he thinks, okay, that's kind of weird. Goes in his house. His wife asks, how was your day? Tells him all about it. Tells him about the crazy old lady and the ghost girl. And then says, actually, I think my truck is kind of making some noises. And she's like, are you sure? Well, you better go check on it. He's like, okay. He goes outside and he hears his truck. It sounds like the engine is about to turn over, like it's about to turn on. So he runs up, pops the hood, unhooks one of the batteries. And it's a diesel truck, so there's a battery and a secondary battery. Unhooks one of the batteries. And as he's doing that, it sounds like someone is turning the key. It's going chick, 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 and it sounds like the engine's about to turn over. And his wife yells at him, stop, stop. I know you're messing with me. You're trying to tease me, right? And as she's saying that, he turns around with both batteries in his hands and sets them on the ground. And the truck is still trying to turn on.
Be like, you need to give us some gas.
So as he does that, sets it down, his wife turns like white as a sheet. She knows he's not joking. And now he's nervous and he screams, it's the drywall, it's the plaster. So he throws both batteries back in the car, turns the car on, goes straight to a construction site where he knows there's a big dumpster and dumps everything. Comes home, parks his car, goes on with his life. And in the 7 years that he owned that truck, nothing like that had ever happened before or after. So after that, he was convinced.
That is pretty unnerving. Was that happening all night or just when he was there? Coming into the house and then coming back out of the house?
He said it was just when, just
was
that
there?
small time,
Yeah.
Dickhead
That
ghost.
whole exchange sounded like it didn't last very long.
But it was enough
With
to
his wife
freak
and-
him out.
Yeah. Enough for him to get rid of it, attempt to stop it.
I mean, let's entertain it and say it's real. Then that means even the drywall from a haunted place things can cling to it.
We were just talking about this a little bit ago, how we can't even buy like antique things anymore because who knows if it's haunted. Freaking drywall is haunted now.
Yeah, dude, you're safe from nothing.
Nothing is safe.
And the grandma gave a false disclaimer. She said she likes to play with her toys. I don't know any kids who like to play with drywall as a toy.
Dude, you never know. I think there was a lot of lead in it back in the day. Kids used to eat paint chips. And,
Like asbestos.
Asbestos,
Yeah.
But DJ and I recently went to a antique store in Salt Lake, and all the antique stores I've ever been to are like, just busted stuff from like the 70s or 80s, right? Mm-hmm. But DJ and I walk into this one, and it is so clearly not like any other antique store I've ever been in. There's stuff from like the 1800s.
Dude, one of all.
From
Basically,
England.
the Warrens' basement.
Dude.
One of all. This place was huge. It was like an airplane hangar.
Yeah.
Damn.
Huge.
Massive. And there were sections from different areas of the world.
Africa.
All of this stuff was for purchase.
Yeah. But you're immediately greeted by a painting that's 15 feet tall, 9 feet wide, $30,000 because it was painted over like 200 years ago. Yeah, like this stuff was crazy. So they have this whole section from England in the front that we looked at for a while.
There's a huge stuffed taxidermy lion, male, with like the mane and everything.
Oh, let's get that.
It's huge.
Yeah, just a couple like $1,500 or $15,000.
Yeah.
And then there's a
check
section.
out our Patreon.
Yeah, we need to get that lion. And then there's like a whole room dedicated to Africa and Haiti. And so they had all these voodoo dolls and things like that. They had a cochina doll like section that we took photos of.
They did. Yeah, have a cochina doll section with like the Native American pieces.
What are the odds you stay there overnight?
Dude, hell no.
Well, it was crazy because they have the Native American stuff, and then there was this room. In the room was a glass cabinet, glass panels, and in there was the cochina dolls. Like it was
Like they
separated
were
from everything,
trying
and
to keep them
the door
locked
was
away.
locked. Yeah, exactly.
Have you seen Harry Potter, The Room of Requirement?
Oh, yeah.
It was legitimately like that. And I'm not joking. There's stacks of chairs that are like 30 feet tall, 100 feet long of like random chairs. It was, there's like aisles in between all this junk. It was crazy.
Something is definitely haunted, if not all things in there are haunted.
So what I was going to say is previously, DJ and I legitimately were looking for stuff to buy for the studio.
It's me, you, and Brittany.
Yeah, my older sister, Brittany. We were like looking for chairs, looking for like statues we could buy to put up and stuff in the background. And now it is like, I am so much less willing to do all that stuff. Just, I don't know.
Let's get like something like that that's new.
Like a 3D printed replica we watch created ourselves so we know it's not haunted. We're there at the conception of it. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so if you're doing any construction and just check and see if it's haunted because, I don't know, even the drywall's not safe anymore.
What was his name?
Tom.
Dude, thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
This second one is from Tom as well. And this one actually happened to him.
Oh,
Nice.
So like I mentioned, Tom said he's always had a relationship with the paranormal. He's felt like he's been extra sensitive to it. And a while ago, him and his wife moved into a new house to them, but it was a 121-year-old farmhouse. So they never entered through the front door for some reason. There was a side entrance.
okay.
So they'd always go through the side. And off the side of the house, there was an attachment that was separate from the house. So it was basically like their mudroom, right? In this mudroom, there's a cellar door. And it used to be used for like food storage, before fridges and things like that. He said it was about 20 or 15 to 20 feet deep, like in dirt floors, super creepy, no lights, cobwebs. Terrifying.
The works.
Yep. So they first moved in there and he's exploring their new house. And he goes and he stands at the entrance of this door. And he opens up the cellar door. And he said, as he's standing there contemplating going in, his throat tightens to the point where he can barely breathe. And he's standing there and it's just getting worse and worse. And the feeling of dread is bigger and bigger. And he decides, nope, shuts the door. They go about living, they're unpacking, they're getting used to living in the house. But he starts getting these like head splitting headaches. And he said it's going on. It was so bad as he was at home. But the second he would leave the house, the headache was gone. This took place over the course of like almost a month. Until finally he's at home alone. He has this head splitting headache. And he gets this feeling. He says, I don't know why I did this. But I said out loud, we are good people. We will take care of this house and the yard. We are not leaving. And he said, immediately, the headaches were gone
Holy cow.
and never came back
That's sick.
until.
Oh, shit.
So they live in there for quite a while. They have like no other occurrences. And then him and his wife, you know, life is good to them and they're in a position where they can buy a new house. So they start looking for a new house. And the second they start packing up their stuff and taking boxes out, the headache comes back just as bad, if not worse than before. And it almost like brought him to his knees. And the only thing he could think to do was he separated himself from his wife. And he didn't tell her these things because he didn't want to freak her out. But he said he separated himself and he said, we love this house and we've taken care of it. But it is time for us to move on. And no sooner do those words leave his mouth that the headaches are gone. And his wife and him pack up and they leave. Okay, so those are Tom's stories. And I really liked them. And he closed his email by saying, I have another story that I've been writing since we started following each other on Instagram. I listened to your show and become a regular listener. It's taken a while to write this other story because I feel like I can only do it a little bit at a time because I feel like there's something following me. And if I acknowledge it, it absolutely disrupts my family life from it for a day or two. There is a change in attitudes with everyone at the home, my kids, my wife, me. So I only write a little bit when I have the time while I'm at work or away from my kids and wife. Which to me is so intriguing. We actually have like 3 or 4 people who reach out to us and say like, I've wanted to share my story, but it's so either traumatic or intense to them what they went through that it's taken them. Like we have a good friend who served in El Salvador. He lived there for a while and he came up against demonic spirits to a degree to where like he can't express it. So he's trying to write it down for us. But to me, I don't know. It like put chills on me. I was like, oh dang. Like he's like struggling to even get that out.
Personally, I would take the same approach that I do with all of Christmas candy that I get, is eat it all in one day so that I only have to suffer for the next 2 or 3 days.
So just rip the Band-Aid off? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
All right, that's Sean's new saying.
2 cents.
He said, also I have a lot of weird experiences from what I can only describe as a scary leprechaun in my grandma's basement. A ghost in my friend's house that I could feel his presence walking by me, to the most activity I've ever felt in my dad's business. So I don't know. He has like apparently just all these.
Plethora.
Yeah. Dude.
Oh my God.
I can't come over.
Yeah. You got
Not
a
dealing with the
leprechaun in your house. Anyway, so
Damn.
that's Tom.
Dude, I'm excited. Yeah, we want
Thank you,
people
Tom.
to share their stories as far as, as long as they're comfortable.
Yeah.
You know?
Because we totally understand some of these experiences are a lot.
Traumatic, yeah.
No. Damn. Yeah, I'm excited. Dude, thank you so much, Tom. You good?
That's me.
Okay. You guys ready for the next one?
Yes, sir.
The date is July 29th, 1945.
Is that 3 years after the end or start of World War II? 1942?
45's end.
Yeah, end of World War II.
Okay.
At this point, it's still going on. But yeah, on the tail end of all of this happening. And the USS Indianapolis is leaving Guam and meeting up with the USS Idaho. And
They're just running potatoes across the border.
just 2 flyover ships and one party. They're meeting each other in the Gulf of Leyte, which is in the Philippines. which Jordan and I have been to Leyte. Sean, have you been there? Beautiful. A few years ago, they got hit by a huge typhoon. But I went there. That was my first time when I went there when I was doing humanitarian work. Sorry, that wasn't the best way to start it. But even though there was a ton of just destruction from the typhoon, buildings leveled, like the country itself, like everything, the surroundings were still so beautiful. It's a great place. They are on their way, and a few minutes after midnight,
Are these two huge ships or planes or what? What are they?
ships. Yeah,
Okay.
aircraft carriers. Okay, I think aircraft carriers.
Oh, battleships.
Battleships.
Is battleships.
Thank you, Jordan. Yeah, battleships, the USS. A few minutes after midnight, there's a huge explosion, and the USS Indianapolis, on its way to the Philippines, they are all by themselves. They get hit by a Japanese submarine. As I look at Charles.
Yeah, what the hell, bro?
Okay, fun fact.
Just
Charles
those-
is a swimmer and plays water polo.
Just
so,
those sneaky rice boys, dude.
dude, your grandpa
All up
is
in the
on that
waters.
submarine.
Me is Jeff.
USS Hentai.
This is a Gundam submarine. And shoots a torpedo. It tears a 65-foot hole into the starboard side of the ship. Crazy.
So that's the left side?
Yes. Saying it with confidence.
Port?
Because I don't know him.
Me neither.
Port. Sorry.
That's the caboose. Continue.
Yeah. It hits the aviation fuel room. So immediately a pillar of fire a couple 100 feet high just shoots into the air.
Brighter than the sun. Above the brightness of the sun.
Above the brightness of the sun.
Low key though, this scenario is the scariest thing I can imagine. Being on a submarine and then getting like struck or something. Hell
Well,
no.
being on the ship and the
Oh,
submarine
okay.
hits you.
yeah.
Redact my statement.
No, you're good. You're good.
It's
It's
still
still
a little
terrifying.
scary.
You're in the middle of the ocean. It's pitch black out there.
That's terrifying.
There's no other ships accompanying you. I don't know how communication was back then either.
Dude, just like strings and empty cans, bro.
It's a long ass string from Guam to the Philippines.
Roger.
All right, so
Over and out.
they get hit by this first torpedo. Second one hits, and this one hits the ammunition room.
Oh, shit.
This sets off a chain reaction of explosions that splits this battleship into two parts. And in 12 minutes, this battleship sinks. 1,196 sailors were on board. So we'll say 1,200. Out of the 1,200, 900 survived, which is a pretty good amount.
Yeah.
That's 300 people that died in 12 minutes, but the majority of them survived. But they are in the water at night, all by themselves, stranded.
You've sunk my battleship.
Still searching for that PT.
All right, so at this point, and sorry, I'm grabbing a lot of this information from a couple different articles, and I'll quote some of it. But life rafts are scarce. So some people are in rafts, some people are just hanging on as much as they can, and then the rest are just treading water because they have nothing else to hang on to.
Couple doors, maybe.
Yeah,
But only one per door.
only one per door. Rose, you bitch.
R.I.P. these sailors, though, you know?
Yeah.
As the sun rises on July 30th, survivors are bobbing in the water. The living are searching for the dead floating in the water and appropriate their life jackets for themselves. Hoping to keep some semblance of order, survivors began forming groups, some small, some over 300, in open water. Soon enough, they would be staving off exposure, thirst, and sharks. So animals in the area are drawn initially by the explosion,
Dude, blood's in the water.
sinking ship, and then the blood of living and dead in the water. The sharks that occupy this area of the Pacific are the oceanic white-tip shark. And the oceanic white-tip holds the throne for the majority of shark attack casualties. More than the tiger, more than the great white,
More than the bull.
more than the bull.
Damn.
So, first night, dead floating bodies, sharks are going for them. The sailors who are alive in the water are watching this.
Just feast.
Yeah, feasting on these dead bodies, 300 of them.
When I was in Puerto Rico, I was standing in a foot of water on the ocean, and a fish like this big brushed my leg, and I squealed and ran. I'm not joking, so much fear in my body.
Dude, baby sharks will go in like 2 or 3 feet deep water and still bite people.
So I can't imagine full-grown
Like
sharks.
knee height. Yeah, so you are in open water.
No.
Sailors are struggling to stay afloat, the ones that aren't on a raft. So their commotion is attracting more sharks. It doesn't take long until all of the dead bodies are scooped up by all these sharks. So they start getting closer and closer to the sailors who are living. And as they turn their attentions toward the living, especially the injured and bleeding, sailors tried to quarantine themselves away from anyone with an open wound. And when someone died, they would push the body away, hoping to sacrifice the corpse in return for a reprieve from a shark's jaw. Many survivors were paralyzed with fear, unable to eat or drink from the meager rations they had salvaged from their ship. One survivor made the mistake of opening one of the rations in the water. Ironically, it was a can of Spam.
Oh no.
So,
This would have been you,
so
Doug.
this is my grandpa. Let's put there by yours.
Yeah.
But before this sailor, and this is the account of the sailors that survived. They watched this man open a can of Spam. Before he was eating it, the scent of meat drew a swarm of sharks around them. So they got rid of all of their rations rather than risk a second swarming.
Oh my gosh.
At this point, there's no sign of rescue for these men. Later on, putting the pieces together, the Navy actually intercepted a message from the Japanese submarine going out saying that they sunk one of the Navy ships. But the military didn't do anything about it because they thought it was just, how would you say?
A diversion.
A diversion to get them to go to
It
that
wasn't
location. Yeah. So these men were out there for even longer than they should have been, So at this point, they're learning about the sharks. They're there for long enough where they're learning about the behavior of the sharks. And the people that the sharks were going for were small groups or stragglers. Obviously, it's easier for them to get to that. So people were fighting in the water to stay in big groups and to be in the center of the group.
Oh, yikes.
So
Panic sets in.
yeah, more panic sets in. No food. They're cold and they're hungry. They're
Fighting.
thirsty. People start drinking the ocean water, which is just a death sentence. Salt poisoning. And this causes a handful of them to have hallucinations and act out on them. So they start fighting their own comrades in the water. Handful of them die, pull down other good sailors down with them. Those die. 11 a.m. on the 4th day out in open water, which, considering their circumstance, is forever. A Navy plane was flying overhead, saw all of them, went back to base. They sent a seaplane out to drop off more rafts and survival supplies, which works out for them. There still wasn't quite enough for the 900 people out in the water, so there are still some who are treading. When the plane was dropping off these supplies, the pilot of the plane, Lieutenant Adrian Marks, said that he was watching as sharks were attacking men. So this is going on constantly. So they get the rafts. A few more people are a little more safe. And 12 hours later, around midnight, the USS Doyle arrives and pulls the last remaining survivors. Of the 1,200 that were originally on the ship, 900 were able to make it to open water initially. Of those 900, 317 remained.
Damn. Holy
And
cow.
This event is known as the world's worst shark attack, or history's worst shark attack.
Dang.
Bro, I just watched that 47 meters down, uncaged, with blind sharks down in Mexico. It's kind of like this.
Is it based off a true story or something?
No, it's not.
Take that trash
really?
out of here. Dude, love-hate relationship with sharks.
Yeah, I was kind of hesitating to share this because of our experience with them.
Yeah.
And going out with one ocean diving, and they're super huge against any type of media that villainizes sharks. But they also do recognize, and I do as well, that
They
it's
are
a predator.
wild animals.
It's a predator, you know? So given the circumstance, if you're not smart, in that circumstance, there was no other way to be. They were
Yeah.
Right.
bloody and just in open water.
Tripping
So,
off that salt water.
Yeah, no,
Yikes.
exactly. So
When I was like 14, maybe like 15, my scout group decided to do a week in Catalina. And literally the week right before we left on our trip was Shark Week on TV. And my little buddy, no, I'm just kidding, my friend Jordan Elmer spent 7 straight days watching Shark Week before we left for Catalina.
psyching himself out.
So we go to Catalina, and all of us are in the water 23 hours a day. And Jordan will not leave the shore. Does not come out with us like once. He's like, hell no.
Sounds like Jordan.
It was like the first time that Animal Planet showed the sharks like launching into the air. It's like the first time they ever caught that on camera. So Jordan is like, dude, these guys are gonna launch us into the air as they like kill us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to comment on any of that?
First off, this like campsite, you had to swim to get to the campsite.
A boat pulled up into a bay and it was like, okay. So we all jumped out and swam to the campsite.
Bro, I put my head down and like sprinted to the shore.
Probably broke his personal record.
Like I'm like with Charles and all these other swimmers, and I'm like out swimming them to shore. Like, what? Oh,
Like,
this
I
is
placed
so
in
fun.
Valley and Jordan like lapped me.
We would go cliff diving, and right as I would hit the water, so you pencil dive in, and then you open it, like parachute out, right? So you don't go too deep. I would parachute so quickly after hitting the surface because I'm like,
And scramble out
I'm
onto
not
the
trying
cliff.
to get, because Catalina, that's great white territory.
It's literally great white territory. And no one was like supervising us at all. And Jordan's warnings were falling upon deaf ears. So I was like, dude, I'm going to try to swim around as far as I can. So one day I just swam around the island. And when I get back, the guy who was like on the boat, like this old sea dog who I caught smoking weed anyway. That's another story. He was like, you better be careful out there on the points. Like where I was swimming, he's like, there's grouper fish or sunfish or something the size of Volkswagens that hang out right there. And I was like, oh, what? Excuse me? It was terrifying.
Dude, and then there's like what's it called? The when you're in behind the boat, you're not
Tubing.
wakeboarding, tubing. Yeah, tubing. I was like, what is that called? Yeah, they're out here tubing, and like Charles was saying, like this was like the first year where they were like teaching about the sharks in South Africa that would like aerial jump out of the water to like eat the seals, right? And I'm just like picturing them just getting gobbled up every once in a while.
These tubes.
They're like, Jordan, you want to turn? And I was like, nah, dude, I'm good in safety over here.
Dude, have you ever heard about the megalodon?
It's like Sean's best friend.
It's a shark that's a mile long.
Best week of my life. We ate fruit and fresh fish for 7 days straight, swam in the ocean every day, slept on the rocks under the stars. We had a Hawaiian sling, and we like caught lobsters and ate them.
A Hawaiian sling?
Yeah, that's what they call like a 3-prong sling.
Oh.
That's what
okay.
mainlanders call it.
Okay.
And then we had
I was like,
Hawaiian
teach me
pizza.
about something I don't know.
But anyway, sharks are terrifying. A similar event happened that I wanted to cover one time, so I'm going to paraphrase it right now. And it's kind of the opposite. It happened to the Japanese troops in Vietnam. And I think it's known as the worst alligator or crocodile attack. But like hundreds and hundreds of Japanese troops, like you could hear the men screaming for miles because they were all just getting demolished. But anyway, that's interesting. So karma, bro.
You know what I love? Any post that's nature is metal related.
Oh gosh,
I had a hard time with the one from today.
Which one?
the moose.
The moose. There's a video that somebody
I don't
sent
know
in
if
our.
we should share it. It's like it made me like sad.
When you read, I'll
Okay.
I'll explain. No, I'm going to share it anyway, Charles. Somebody sent a video in our group chat of this man, and it's early morning in the winter, 5 a.m. about, and he has his sled of dogs pulling him. And apparently this is like a routine thing he does multiple times a week, and he's done it for like over 10 years.
Yeah,
10 or
dog
15
training.
years.
Yeah. Or dog sled training, rather.
He comes across moose often. He's come across almost 1,000 moose from what he said. And this is the only time that a moose had acted out on them. It's because the moose was really close to the trail that they were sledding. And there, he has a flashlight. It doesn't go very far because it's pitch black in the middle of the woods in winter. No moonlight, nothing. But it's too late when he realizes that there's a moose right next to the trail that they're on. And this moose is a mother and its baby is with her. So she takes it as a threat. And he says, I'm not mad. Of course, I'm sad over this, but I'm not mad because I realize the territory we're in. And the moose chases them down and tramples one of the dogs and breaks one of the dogs' backs, and he has to put it down. The other dogs are fine, but the video of...
Have you ever seen a world star hip hop fight?
Sharkeisha.
Picture that, but with a like 12.5-foot moose stomping a dog.
is so sad.
Yeah.
I
dude,
had
it
to
was
turn it off. I was like,
heavy,
I can't
bro.
watch this. But like knowing what goes, like blood, sweat, and tears goes into dog sled, like dog sled racers like sleep with their dogs. They like eat with their dogs. They take care of their dogs, all 12 or 20 if they have a big team. They take care of all of them first. It takes hours, and then they eat. Do you know what I mean? They take all their money. They put it. So like knowing all that, I don't know. It was so sad. I could.
It
barely
was
watch
rough, dude. It was rough. But a lot of those videos, just like in nature, is crazy. My uncle was on this is my cousin's husband. And about 10, 15 years ago, this was in the Honolulu Star Advertiser. But
Is that a paper?
yeah, that's like the main paper in Hawaii.
It's the Times,
newspaper.
Hawaii
Yeah,
High
yeah.
Times.
Yeah, High Times. And he was paddling with his friend a couple miles off of Waikiki, and a humpback whale came by them.
Are they usually dangerous or at all? Or
No, they're usually pretty good. And this is actually the only story where I heard that it was super dangerous. But they're paddling, and out of nowhere, the tail of this whale comes up. It's right next to him. And then comes right back down and smashes the front of his canoe, which is a wooden canoe,
Just
shatters into splinters, misses him, and he goes flying. His friend said he was 15 feet in the air. So his friend tows him back
like-
to shore. He's like,
excuse me? I'd be so incredulous, dude.
The oar in his hand.
yeah. I'm
Just more
mid-stroke, bro.
confused than anything else.
Yeah. What?
He's like, this is the first dangerous thing I've ever heard of with you whales.
Yeah. Bro.
But wild, dude.
No mahalo.
No, no mahalo. No trash.
Did you ever hear about those two dudes who encountered a mountain lion? Maybe.
That was one dude, right?
No. Well,
We've talked about the one, dude.
Guy who killed Malcolm.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
one dude, not two dudes.
So there's one where these two guys, I believe they were biking or running, and a mountain lion out of nowhere attacks one of them. Gets him to the ground. I think is like has his jaws like near or around his neck, and his other friend ditches him.
oh,
Pulls a Sean and just ditches him. I'm just kidding.
While yelling, sucks to suck.
So his
World star.
His friend's like, GL mate, and then starts running down the trail, and the mountain lion's deep instincts are triggered, turns on the guy who's running, chases after him, kills him. And the guy who was on the ground
survives.
survives.
Oh, man.
Is that
damn.
the true story, or is he really the guy who survived?
Well, yeah, he's like, and then that dickhead ran away, even though he's probably the one who. Yeah, you're right, Jordan. He probably just flipped the script on him.
Damn, dude. Detective Elmer. Right there.
Elmer Holmes. But there's a thing called anthropomorphization. Struggled through that word.
Yeah, Animorphs. The
The one where
books.
they
Dude,
turn
the
into-
mid-
It was always the scariest.
Yeah, from the beginning to the end, the middle guy, you're like,
just like
that guy's a nightmare. If you don't know what we're talking about, don't worry about it. Anthropomorphization is when it's like something we all do to animals is like we project human qualities on them. So we've seen Lion King, we've seen Jungle Book, so we think, bears, there's like a cuddly, fun, like they want to sing and float down a river with you and teach you how to eat
Bare
prickly
necessities.
cactus, And so that's why you see a lot of people like in
Yellowstone.
getting out of their car and being like, I'm going to take a photo of this predator, this apex predator. And so the site Nature is Metal really kind of puts to shame or puts to rest any of those ideas because it shows you like how brutal Mother Nature and animals are. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care if you have a kid, if you're a single mom.
Yeah.
They're going to treat you all the same and eat your ass.
Yeah.
Not like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, devour your body.
Check it out, though. Nature's Metal, the hashtag, the account, the subreddit.
Beware, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they have a subreddit, Nature's Metal?
Fire. Fire sub.
Thanks. That's wild.
That is.
Is that all you
that's
tonight?
Scary.
Yeah, that's all I got. It's been a while since we've talked about animals.
I liked it.
Just
That
a
was
different
good.
type of scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Still
change-
scary.
Yeah, still scary. Good change of pace, I thought. But I was really excited to share it.
Would you rather be stuck at night in the open ocean alone? What's comparable to that?
Being in the woods alone, deep woods.
No, dude, the ocean's worse, bro.
The ocean's so much worse.
You
than
think
Where
so?
can you go?
Yeah.
Let's say
You're not
Let's
safe.
say in both areas. Okay, the ocean you have.
Okay, wait.
Just
I have one. In the middle of like Antarctica or an ice field where there's nothing you can see, but you have warm clothes, so you won't freeze to death.
And it's in the Arctic, so there's polar bears.
Okay. Or the open ocean at night. Is that
think-
comparable?
I don't know, dude.
I say you're on a raft in the ocean
Okay.
or in the middle of the woods.
I'd still
I would
take
choose.
woods,
I would choose
though.
woods every time.
Yeah.
I would choose the raft.
Let's hear it.
There's not, I don't know.
Like, why? What are your thoughts? Why would you take
Let's
raft?
say, well, assuming that the ocean is calm.
Okay.
Like, it's not like the.
Yeah, it's not like tidal wave or storm or anything. I don't know. I think you'd be fine on a raft.
I mean, I would trust myself in the woods more than I would. on a
Isaac
raft.
said, out in the middle of the ocean or lost in a huge cave system.
Oh, dude, that one is a good one, bro.
Yeah, that is.
That was part of Uncaged.
Okay, which one would you do now,
The
Sean?
47 meters down with the blind sharks.
Take your sci-fi movie out of here, bro. Your megalodon ass.
Freaking zombievers.
Yeah.
Croctopus.
Okay, cave system. Honestly, I would take ocean over.
I would still take ocean.
If I get- okay,
'cause
no
someone can
raft.
find you.
no raft.
No raft or cave system. Bro, I don't think I would like the descent would just be playing over and over in my mind in a cave system. And if I see some albino kale looking goons crawling on the walls, no thank you. I'd rather take ocean in that scenario.
Kale is a friend of ours who we love, but he is a 7-foot tall Smeagol.
Looks like Slender Man. Yeah. He looks like Bilbo when Bilbo goes. Yeah. And then pause and then
Scariest
continue.
moment
Yeah.
of that movie.
Yeah. I would take the cave.
Oh my gosh. How?
I would take the cave.
You have zero light. You can't
At
see your
least-
hand in front of your face.
Dude, in the cave, I would just find a wall, lay down, and sleep.
and
Die?
give up your ghost.
Dude, yeah, I would just go to sleep. This is just for a night or indefinitely.
Oh, no, until you're
Until-
able to get away. Until you're able to get home.
Let's say
Homeward bound.
5 days min.
Oh, shit.
So you have to get yourself out.
Yeah.
You could probably survive in a cave for 5 days more than you could survive in the open ocean for 5 days. Like without a raft.
I guess when I ask the open ocean or forest question, I say for the night. Sorry, I already had that in my head, but I didn't say it. I didn't.
I was thinking long term too.
Me too.
Actually.
Like until you
long
got
term
out.
woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's maybe why we were so resolutely
Yeah,
woods.
yeah.
Yeah. One night in a raft out in the ocean would be
Yeah, you're chilling,
relaxing,
dude. You're
dog.
just looking at the stars the whole night.
Take a nap, dude. Just
It's not like a shark is gonna come along and eat you in one night.
out of the raft.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it could jump.
Yeah.
Like,
We have
With
bigger
its
problems
arm.
if it's able to reach in and grab some street shark.
Street sharks.
No, yeah. One night's too easy.
Imagine the beautiful stars while you're.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
It'd be like a nice reprieve,
Yeah,
dude.
one night is chill.
Okay, what's the final question then? Cave or no raft?
I say no raft, ocean, cave, pitch black.
For 5 days minimum, I'd take the cave.
I would also take the cave.
I'm just going to be a contrarian and take the ocean. But I still might take the ocean.
Actually, I think I might take. Oh,
because at least you can see the
Bro,
day
I'm
sometimes.
drowning in the ocean. I can't float for my life.
I can.
So I have to take the cave out of necessity. I will
Okay.
die.
You won't see light, dude.
I don't care, dude. I don't see light on a normal day anyways, staying home by myself.
Oh, wow. I get you, though. You would get tired.
Yeah. You can't helicopter kick for 5 days.
tread water.
Yeah.
You
I don't
take
know
your
what it's
pants
called.
and you do that, like, floaty thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, what if you don't have pants? What if you're all just wearing board shorts?
Dude, I always rocking zip-offs, bro. I got pants
Those
and
tear-offs?
shorts. Yeah.
Dope.
I'm just thinking. You'd have to eat, like, seaweed, trash, or, like, fish if you can Smeagol catch them. In the cave, you're eating, like, bugs, bats, starting another virus.
Getting COVID 20.
Yeah.
COVID 20.
COVID over 9,000. All right, so fine, whatever. We decided nothing. Next.
Next, Sean.
What is the point of you the raft and cave to survive, or just to like what would you rather go?
Your place there, your Bear Grylls, you're trying to make it back.
Oh, okay. So I would say the cave you could commit suicide a lot easier.
I was going to say I would find a precariously placed boulder, lay down beneath it, and poke it with a stick. Sorry. Good night.
I would say you could throw your head pretty good into like a stalagmite.
Oh. Jump off a short ledge onto a stalagmite because mites are on the ground.
Ground.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That'd be tight.
How can you tell the difference because of my grid?
Oh, I say mite has an M and it's mound. Mound rhymes with ground. And then
I
tight.
always-
Tight holds tight to the ceiling.
I always see it as like the top of the T is like the ceiling with the thing hanging down.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
We're all learning things.
Who said good sharks?
Said what?
Street sharks?
Street sharks?
Yeah.
I always had this image of this shark, this arm coming over the raft of this shark just being like, what's up? and then all these sharks with arms just like coming at you.
Truly terrifying.
Just beat you up before they eat you.
Don't have arms.
Yeah.
That's how they swim. just
Yeah, straight butterfly.
But they have the arms of the dudes that work out in like the
Oh, yeah.
park.
Like Larry Lobster from SpongeBob. Just big old meaty thick boys.
You should start watching.
Okay, last scenario with the sharks and sea. In the caves, you have the descent creatures. In the ocean, you have hungry sharks in your cut.
You're effed either way. You're not making it a day.
Which one would you do?
I would take the cave and kill myself in the first 10 minutes.
I would take the ocean.
Cool.
You
Does your grandpa have a spirit animal? Like Moana's?
Yeah, I think we talked about it in the previous episode.
Yeah. Isn't it a shark?
One side of the family is the Mano, which is a shark.
You're like, Grandpa, receive me.
And the other side of the family is the Eo, which is the
It's a Roddy Rich.
it's Roddy Rich. It's a box. No, Eo is Hawaiian hawk.
Okay, cool guy.
So we got air and sea in our family.
Ooh.
But those are really common ones. Another common one is the sea turtle.
Is there truth to? I was told by a Dongan from Tonga that the king of Tonga like goes out and every year kills a shark or something.
I've never heard that. I'm not saying that it's wrong,
Yeah,
but I haven't heard that before. I'll ask my dad.
yeah. I don't know about every year, but it's like tradition. The king of Tonga has to kill a shark and like bring it back.
Wow.
Damn.
Did we ever talk about, dude?
It's a lot easier
We're going
now.
down rabbit holes.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear? You know,
The spirit animal is what you're talking about is Almakua. So it's like when you pass away, like your spirit becomes that almost, and they're like your guardian spirit. So
okay. So sorry,
no,
Sean.
Well, I just have one story for you tonight. This comes from a guy in July 1997. So, July 1997, he
Dude, pre 9/11,
bro, you can
world was
fly without
free.
having to.
take your shoes off.
Yeah, dude.
You could like walk your friend onto the plane, sit him down, and like leave.
Yeah, dude.
There's like no security.
This is Wild Wild West.
Dude, wow.
somewhere else in the world, somebody's trying to invent like highly combustible jet fuel.
To melt steel, but Tamagotchis just came out.
Oh
Hey.
damn, Neopets. Rip.
But anyways, he and his girlfriend go down to a lake just south of Santa Fe, New Mexico, which is where he's from, Santa Fe, New Mexico. Now, they're just going for the weekend. They show up to the lake, kind of set up camp, and, I mean, they're basically just messing around, smoking weed, going skinny dipping, all kinds of stuff like that. You know, typical, camp activities. After a few hours after being there, they noticed this kind of box truck up on a ledge, up and away from them. And initially, they didn't think anything of it. But then after a little while, they noticed that in a bush just beside this truck was a dude who's just watching them on his binocular or with his binoculars. So all of a sudden, they get really freaked out. And they're like, we got to get out of here. As he tells his girlfriend to start putting stuff into their truck so that they could get out of there, this dude pops out of the bushes, and they could see him. He kind of looked like this older white guy, mustache.
Nope.
Basically a Nope type character. And he like starts yelling at him. Hey guys, how you doing? I saw you guys smoking weed. You guys want to buy some drugs? Stuff like this. And they're like freaking out. Okay, we're trying to get out of here as fast as possible. He starts running over to them. Now, as they're getting everything to the truck, he kind of steps in front of his girlfriend to go over to this guy and tell him we're not interested. Now, the guy gets over to him. He like puts his hand on his shoulder. He's like, hey, no, like even if you don't want to buy anything, I'm having a party later tonight as well. Like me, my wife, and like if you want to come over, we could even switch girls. And
This dude.
Jesus, come on along for the party. It'll be fun. All of my biker friends are showing up in the morning. So all kinds of red flags.
Yeah.
all kinds of red flags. He tells the dude no, kind of pushes his hand off his shoulder. They jump into their car and they start driving off. Now they notice that there's another kind of golden tinted car or truck that was beside the other big box truck. It pulls down the road towards them and like tries to get in their way, and he swerves around it as another guy is getting out of this other truck, and he's kind of waving a badge at him. So he's waving this badge at him. They swerve around the truck and just keep going. Now at this point, the people don't come after them. They get away, nothing happens. Years later, this guy, and he separated from his girlfriend who became his wife, and he said he's just playing video games, watching TV in the background, and this show comes on called I Survived. Now he's kind of like paying attention to the game, paying attention to the show at the same time, and it's talking about this girl who escaped one of the infamous serial killers in American history, David Parker Ray. And it's talking about what exactly this guy did. He would come over trying to sell him drugs and stuff like that. And all of a sudden the picture pops up on the screen. And he almost like kind of gags a little bit, just like seeing this guy. It's the same dude that he saw years and years ago.
Just a visceral reaction.
And he like drops the controller. He's just focused now on this TV. And it talks about how David Parker Ray and his girlfriend would try and get younger couples and they would try and kill them. He would introduce them to their friends.
Him and his cousin would do this?
Him and his girlfriend, actually. But
And
there's
cousin?
more. But they would introduce him to his friends, which were his instruments he would use to then dismember them. Or take all their organs out and fill them with rocks and drop them into the river or into the lake. And then his cousin as well joined in, and they said on this I Survived episode that his cousin allegedly committed his first act of murder in early or late July 1997. And he would also kind of pull around waving his badge that he had from his work to try and confuse people and get them to stop. And that's when they would capture them and, torture them and kill them. And he's watching all this, just
Taking him back. It's like Charles and Akon.
I was
Just
almost
less
so
lonely.
lonely. I have nobody.
But that was his close encounter with David Parker Ray.
Holy
Allegedly committed 60 murders.
Who is this person?
Damn. Yeah, I've never heard of
Not the serial killer, the dude.
Who
got away.
Name.
I've never heard of David Parker Ray.
This is David Parker Ray. Just this white dude with a dirty mustache.
Oh. Oh no.
That dude comes trying to sell me drugs, I'm not buying.
Oh no.
You better share these photos on YouTube.
You want to see a picture of his friends?
Yeah. Like his weapons, the weapons?
Oh yeah. Those were allegedly who he would refer to as his friends.
What?
This one.
His weapons were his friends that he would say,
Oh.
they're coming in the morning or whatever.
Part serial killer, full-time dominatrix.
Oh,
He
just a leather boy.
leather, chain gang.
That's terrifying. It's scary because I would hesitate if I saw a dude showing a badge.
Yeah.
You would think about,
Yeah, I would be like, we might need to stop. I don't know. Hopefully, your adrenaline would carry you through that decision.
yeah.
Just be like, F it, give me a ticket.
Yeah.
I'm outie.
I'm just going to run or drive as fast as I can. If they come after me, then they might be legit. I don't know, dude. But anyways.
Dude, that narrow escape, man.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that's terrifying.
I always think, how many narrow escapes have I had? Because you never know.
Yeah.
You never know until you're watching I Survived on TV 60 years later.
Yeah.
You're right, though.
Maybe you don't want to know.
Even just on something as simple as like driving on the freeway. Like you pass an accident that happened 1 minute before,
Sometimes
you think about like
I've
the
been in that
timing.
accident.
Yeah. Sean was in an accident. Not really an accident. His car. What exactly happened?
It exploded.
While you were driving, though?
Nope, it was after I got out.
But why did you pull over? Like,
Oh, I pulled out over because the car right in front of me had a blowout on the freeway. Like their front tire blew out, and I couldn't get out of the way because traffic was heavy enough. So I hit them going 75 in the back. Yeah. Anyways, I kind of get myself to the shoulder and run across this freeway to go and help the other person. And then I turn around and look at my car, and it's on fire.
Dude, you ever thought about being an EMT? Or paramedic? Is that the same thing?
I don't know if they're the same thing. I feel like that's a lot of school, dude.
I feel like you would be so
no,
good at it.
it's not.
It's like 6 weeks, bro.
Dude, Hunter did it. Shout out our boy Hunter.
Oh, I mean, I never thought about it.
Yeah, it's like a training program. It's not like school.
Bro, I feel like you would be so good at that. Because your reaction is like, no fear, help everyone around me.
Just soulless.
Super calm. No, you're super calm. So you can you know how to diffuse situations. You know how to remain calm.
Apparently your heart rate just goes down.
Yeah. Earlier before we started, he's like, I just drank 2 energy drinks and my heart rate went down.
Means I just have to drink more energy drinks before I go on my shift, dude.
There you go.
You're like Chris Traeger. You're like, you have the resting heart rate of a 100-year-old tortoise.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. That was a good one. We had a good mix of stories tonight.
I liked it.
We had
It was a
paranormal.
plethora.
We had nature. And then we had serial killers.
Dang, we really covered it.
That's a lot of ground.
What'd you guys learn tonight? I learned that you can steal things from dead bodies and just call it appropriating. They appropriated their white life jackets. Is that what you said?
That's what the article
I
said.
thought that was hilarious. I was like, damn, I'm about to go like
The life
appropriate
jackets and the
some
dude's
stuff.
wallet.
Yeah.
On this quarantine, I'm about to go appropriate some like speakers or something.
Oh yeah, dude, that's a good point. Yeah.
Animals with human arms terrify me.
Very terrifying.
That's what I learned.
Truly
tonight.
scary.
You're trying to mess with some street sharks.
It's like a IRL version of Sid's messed up toys in Toy Story.
Dude, true. Yeah.
Spy Kids 3 or whatever. The weird creatures. Like,
Oh, the thumbs.
Thumb. Oh yeah, the Spy Kids, the thumb people. Floop.
Biz a madman, help us, save us.
I feel like the dinosaurs are like weirdly like pieced together on one of them, isn't it? Like,
Oh, I think they put like cats.
Oh,
and
that's
fish
number
and stuff
2,
together.
dude.
whatever.
Yeah,
With
yeah,
Steve
Yeah.
Buscemi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, do you ever think God stays up in heaven because he too is afraid of the creations he created? As like a 12-year-old, you're like,
deepest
what?
thing.
I'm 12 and this is deep.
That's a meme I stole that. In Sean's scenario, DJ's saying would truly come in handy to like trust your gut,
Oh yeah.
not stop for a badge. That's what you say, right?
Yeah, trust your gut and don't stop when law enforcement tries to.
True. Anything else?
No, brother.
All the things you learn. Well,
I'm good. I feel good.
So
me
good.
too.
Happy about this episode.
We want to shout out Isaac, who's in the studio today.
Mm-hmm.
He should come over and say hi. So Isaac is the homie who bought us the lights, the nicest thing in the world.
Yeah, we posted that box like unopening, the box opening reveal, whatever, like a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. What is it? What I say? Unopening, whatever.
Yeah.
The unraveling.
So,
But
anything you want to say or nothing, or just
I just believe in you guys.
oh, dude, you're the first person.
In your whole life?
Yeah, maybe.
no, he's talking to you.
Right now, after Isaac said that.
Yeah, for real.
He's talking to you, the listener.
Yeah. I really do believe in you guys. I think this is going to go somewhere. So I'm stoked to see all the upcoming episodes. And yeah, just looking forward to your success.
Dude, thank you.
For real. The studio already looks so much better with the new lighting.
That makes me happy.
It's so sick.
Dude, thank you so much
For real.
for coming through. Kelsey as well, Isaac's girlfriend.
Shout out.
Thanks for being here. And Jordan, of course,
Yeah.
in the background.
Jordan will be recording with us next time. He's just currently in a class. Like he has online class, so he has to like be in that. So that's what he's doing. Yeah. But to everyone out there, we love you so much. Stay safe. Think of those around you in this time. We just want to, I don't know, provide a safe haven from that place you can come and hang out.
Yeah,
So yeah, hit us up.
exactly.
Comment if you guys are bored on quarantine life. DM us, dude.
Hell
We'll
yeah.
chat. We have like 8 followers, so we're good. So we have time, dude. But everyone out there, bye, love you, be safe.
Trust your gut, watch your back.
Be careful out there.
Oh, wait. We got to figure out a better system for this.
Okay. To everyone out there, bye, love you, be safe.
Trust your gut, watch your back.
Be careful out there.
We for sure all gave each other corona this time. We just blew in each other's mouths.
Hey, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of 3 a.m. If you want to support us, visit our Patreon where patrons have access to exclusive content. If you're not able to support us monetarily, don't worry. This episode is on us. You can still rate and review us on whatever platform you listen to us on. It really does go a long way. You can also follow us on social media. Our handle everywhere, including Patreon, is the 3 a.m. pod. Finally, do you have any scary stories? If so, submit them to our website, the3ampodcast.com. We love any audio or visual aids that can help bring your stories to life. So file uploads are welcome with your written submissions. We're anxious and excited to hear from you.